The sixth season of RuPaul's Drag Race began airing February 24, 2014. Like the fifth season, the season featured 14 contestants competing for the title of America's Next Drag Superstar. For the first time in the show's history, the season premiere was split into 2 episodes. The 14 queens are split into 2 groups and the 7 queens into each group compete against each other before being united as one group for the 3rd episode. The winner of this season was Bianca Del Rio. Santino Rice and Michelle Visage are back as judges at the panel. 2 new pit crew members, Miles Moody and Simon Sherry-Wood, joined Jason Carter and Sean Morales. The winner of this season won a prize package that included a supply from Evolution Cosmetics and a cash prize of $100,000. This was also the first season where Absolute Vodka and Interior Illusions, Incorporated were not sponsors for the show, more specifically for the Untucked episodes. The Interior Illusions Lounge is now simply known as the Silver Lounge or Form Decor Lounge. The theme song played during the runway segment every episode was Sissy That Walk, while the song playing during the credits is Dance With You, both from the album Born Naked. Contestants, the drag queens who competed to be America's Next Drag Superstar for Season 6 of RuPaul's Drag Race are, ages and names stated are at time of contest. AAA. The contestant won RuPaul's Drag Race. AAA. The contestant was the runner-up. AAA. The contestant won a challenge. AAA. The contestant was one of the best but did not win the challenge. AAA. The contestant was one of the worst but was not in the bottom 2. AAA. The contestant was in the bottom 2. AAA. The contestant was eliminated. AAA. The contestant did not participate in this episode. AAA. The contestant was voted Miss Congeniality by viewers. In episode 7, Darienne Lake and Ben de la Creme ended up in the bottom 2, but both stayed since RuPaul gave a second chance to both queens. Later in episode 11, both queens fall into the bottom 2 again, marking the second rematch lip-sync in the show history after Sharon Needles and Fifi O'Hara's 2 lip-syncs in Season 4. In episode 7, Adore Delano became the 6th person to win 2 consecutive challenges, the others being Raven, Manila Luzon, Alexis Mateo and in their respective seasons. Chad Michaels and Chanel won 3 challenges in a row in All Stars. All remaining contestants participated in a lip-sync during episode 12. At the conclusion of the lip-sync, Darienne Lake was eliminated and the other queens were declared finalists without announcing any high or low scores. This also marks the first time that 2 contestants in the same season without falling into the bottom 2. Ben de la Creme is the second contestant that won the first main challenge and not achieved top 3 status. The first contestant that accomplished this feat was Morgan McMichaels. Episode 13 is a recap episode including never-before-seen footage. Bianca Del Rio is the second queen to win the competition without being in the bottom 2, the first being Tyra Sanchez. She is also the first and only contestant to date to make it through the season without ending up in the bottom 2 or receiving a low score in any of the main challenges. Guest judges, in alphabetical order by stage name and or last name, Paula Abdul, Linda Blair, David Boettcher, Eve, Neil Patrick Harris, Lena Headey, Gillian Jacobs, Chloe Copyright Kardashian, Adam Lambert, Bob Mackie, Heather McDonald, Jaime Presley, Cheryl Lee Ralph, Leah Remini, Mike Ruiz, Trina. Additional guest appearances this season include Charles Bono, Ian Drew, Georgia Holt, Lainey Kazan, Lucien Pian, Bruce Vilanch, Our Lady J. Episodes. Episode 1, RuPaul's Big Opening, air date, February 24, 2014. At the beginning of the episode, 7 contestants are introduced: Adore Delano, April Carrier Cubden, Ben de la Creme, Gia Gun, Kelly Mantle, Laganja Estranja and Vivacious. RuPaul then announces to the queens that the season premiere will be split into 2 episodes. Those first 7 queens will compete against each other in the first part, and the remaining 7 will compete against each other in the second part. The mini-challenge for this week was a photo shoot that consisted of jumping off a small platform into a foam-filled container and taking a picture mid-air. Laganja Estranja was declared the winner. This week's main challenge was to design a high-fashion outfit using materials inspired by a TV show. As the winner of the mini-challenge, Laganja Estranja could assign the TV show. During the runway critique, Ben de la Creme is praised for her outfit and her look. April Carrier-Cubden is also given good critiques for her outfit, and RuPaul is glad that she decided to not wear pants as she originally intended. Kelly Mantle, Vivacious and Adore Delano were all critiqued for their lackluster outfits, but only Kelly Mantle and Vivacious land in the bottom two. Ben de la Creme was declared winner of the main challenge. Before announcing the winner, RuPaul specified that there would be no immunity granted throughout the season, unlike previous seasons. After the lip-sync, Vivacious stayed, and Kelly Mantle was asked to sashay away. Guest judges, Adam Lambert and Mike Ruiz, mini-challenge, jumping off a platform photo shoot, mini-challenge winner, Laganja Estranja, main challenge, designing an outfit inspired by a TV show, challenge winner, Ben de la Creme, main challenge prize, custom jewel package by Fierce Drag Jewels, bottom two, Kelly Mantle and Vivacious, lip-sync song, Express Yourself by Madonna, eliminated, Kelly Mantle, farewell message, love you GIRLZ. Rock your PXXXXXXX. XOXO Kelly Mantle PS Eat My Bacon. Episode 2, RuPaul's Big Opening Part 2, air date, March 3, 2014. At the beginning of the episode, the remaining 7 contestants are introduced: Bianca Del Rio, Courtney Act, Darienne Lake, Jocelyn Fox, Magnolia Crawford, Milk, and Trinity K. Bonnet. RuPaul then reveals that the first half of the queens have already competed against each other, and one has already gone home. The mini-challenge for this week was a photo shoot that consisted of a boudoir pillow fight with each queen and the pit crew. Trinity K. Bonnet was declared the winner. This week's main challenge was to design a high-fashion couture outfit using materials inspired by party supplies. As the winner of the mini-challenge, Trinity K. Bonnet assigned each girl one of the party supply boxes. During the runway critique, Bianca Del Rio and Milk are praised for their outfits. Milk took a risk by wearing a goatee but was commended for her boldness. Trinity K. Bonnet was praised for her outfit after removing a cardboard shoulder piece referred to as a pizza box by the judges, and Courtney Act was critiqued for a simple outfit. Jocelyn Fox is encouraged to edit her styling choices. During her critique, Magnolia Crawford is defensive to all of the judges and complains about the supplies she was assigned to create her look. Darienne Lake joins Magnolia Crawford in the bottom two. Bianca Del Rio was declared winner of the main challenge. After the lip-sync, Darienne Lake stayed, and Magnolia Crawford was asked to sashay away. Guest judge, Khloe Kardashian, mini-challenge, boudoir pillow fight with the pit crew, mini-challenge winner, Trinity K. Bonnet, main challenge, designing an outfit inspired by party supplies, challenge winner, Bianca Del Rio, main challenge prize, $2,500 shopping spree from Fabric Planet, bottom two, Darienne Lake and Magnolia Crawford, lip-sync song, Turn the Beat Around by Vicky Sue Robinson, eliminated, Magnolia Crawford, farewell message, ZOMG. Love you girly girls. XOXO, Magnolia, episode 3, Scream Queens, air date, March 10, 2014. At the beginning of this episode, the queens from last week are introduced to the contestants from week 1, before all 12 queens participate in this week's mini-challenge. To pair up with a queen not in their original group and perform a beach-themed lip-sync in pairs, with one queen as the top half and the other as the bottom. Adore and Milk win the challenge and are made team captains for this week's main challenge, to star in 2 scenes influenced by horror movies. One from the 60s and one from the 80s. Both Adore and Milk pick the queens from their original groups, and whilst Team Milk is given the 60s movie, Team Adore is given the 80s. During the main challenge, although Trinity has some shaky moments, all of Team Milk perform well. On the other hand, Team Adore has several problems, with April coming off as boy as opposed to butch, Adore and Vivacious stumbling over their lines and Della accidentally talking over some of the other queens during their lines. On the main stage, the queens are asked to slay the runway in their best drag. Team Milk won the challenge, with Darien being named the overall winner for her hilarious performance. During the judges' critiques, whilst Dela and Laganja are commended for being the better parts of Team Adore, April, Vivacious and Adore are all criticized for their performances. Santino noted that Dela would have potentially won the challenge had she been on the winning team. In the end, despite poor leadership, Adore's star quality, potential and funny 80s-themed performance saves her from the bottom two, which leaves April and Vivacious to lip-sync. After a high-energy performance by both queens, Ru asks April to stay and Vivacious to sashay away. Guest judges, Lena Headey and Linda Blair, Mini Challenge, create a beach-themed lip-sync in pairs. Mini Challenge winners, Adore Delano and Milk. Main Challenge, star in horror film trailers for Drag Race Me to Hell. Runway theme, Best Drag, Challenge winner, Darien Lake. Main Challenge prize, 5-night stay at Island House Key West Resort. Bottom 2, April Karaoke Den and Vivacious, lip sync song, Shake It Up by Selena Gomez, eliminated. Vivacious, farewell message, girls you will be missed. Take the world by storm, educate the masses. Get it, rearrange it, internalize it. Turn it. Vivacious, Episode 4, Shade the Rusical. Air date, March 17, 2014. In this week's episode, the queens are challenged to sing, dance and act in a performance of Shade, the Rusical. For the mini-challenge, the queens are shown pictures of various body parts and asked if they are from a biological or psychological woman. Adore and Dilla win the challenge and are made team captains for the main challenge. During rehearsal, several of the queens encounter problems, notably Trinity, who panics over her performance and becomes annoyed with both the choreographer and Bianca. Several of the other queens also have problems with their singing. On the main stage, the queens perform Shade, the Rusical, and then come decked out in their best Tony Awards glamour. This week, although the queens performed in teams, they are critiqued as individuals. Adore receives praise for her performance, although her dress is criticized by Santino, while Michelle comments negatively on her silhouette. Courtney Act is also praised for her performance and star quality, along with Dela. On the other hand, Trinity is criticized for not enunciating properly and getting her lines lost. Darien is accused of fading into the background and April is told that she did not embody her big girl role, which was meant to be a showgirl and not just about padding. Courtney Act wins the challenge and Trinity and April lip-sync. Ru compliments both queens on their strong performance before saving Trinity and asking April to sashay away. Guest judges, Lucian Pian and Cheryl Lee Ralph, Mini Challenge, female or she-male? Mini Challenge winner, Adore Delano and Ben de la Creme. Main Challenge, performing live in the original production of Shade, the Rusical. Runway theme, Tony Award Realness. Challenge winner, Courtney Act. Main Challenge prize, 2 VIP packages to the Broadway musical Kinky Boots. Bottom 2, April Karaoke Den and Trinity K. Bonnet, lip sync song, I'm Every Woman by Chaka Khan, eliminated. April Karaoke Den, farewell message, love you girls, Eka Palanti, see you soon. The unregistered trademark. April, Episode 5, Snatch Game, air date, March 24, 2014. The queens compete in a star-studded TV game show that showcases their celebrity impersonations. With guest judges comedienne Heather McDonald and actress Gillian Jacobs. This week saw the return of the fan-favorite Snatch Game challenge, and on the runway, the queens wore their best RuPaul-inspired looks. In the workroom, Ben de la Creme's choice to portray actress Maggie Smith is met with skepticism from RuPaul, while Ru is unimpressed by Gia's initial choice to portray singer Selena. Realizing the choice could land her in the bottom, Gia made a last-minute change to portray Kim Kardashian instead. On the main stage, Courtney, Darien, Jocelyn and Trinity were all declared safe. Within the top three, Adore and Bianca were both praised for their strong performances in the Snatch Game, and Adore was complimented for her silhouette. However, both queens were criticized for their looks, which the judges felt failed to embody the RuPaul theme. Dela's portrayal of Maggie Smith, along with her RuPaul dress, were deemed the best and she was declared the winner of the challenge. Gia, Laganja and Milk were all criticized for their poor impersonations in the Snatch Game. Gia was accused of not being funny, while Milk's decision to portray male RuPaul on the runway received very mixed feedback. However, Milk was declared safe, leaving Laganja and Gia in the bottom two. During the lip sync, although both queens put in a strong performance, Laganja's unique style kept her in the competition, and Gia sashayed away. Guest judges, Gillian Jacobs and Heather McDonald, main challenge, Snatch Game, runway theme, and Night of 1,000 Ruse, challenge winner, Ben de la Creme, main challenge prize, 2 couture outfits from Siren Latex, bottom 2, Gia Goon and Laganja Estranja, lip sync song, Head to Toe by Lisa Lisa and Cult Jam, eliminated, Gia Goon, farewell message, bring out the big guns dudes. Shock So Gia Goon, episode 6, Oh No She Better Don't. Air date, March 31, 2014. This week, the queens were challenged to channel their inner 90s rap goddess in a performance of Oh No She Better Don't. The mini-challenge saw the queens read their fellow competitors. Ru names Darienne the winner and she picks Laganja, Adore, Bianca and Courtney to form her team, confusing and annoying De La, who wondered as to why she wasn't picked. The queens then are challenged to dress in their best 90s rapper realness and write their own verse to perform in the Oh No She Better Don't music video, watched over by rappers Trina and Eve. Several of the queens struggle during the shoot and stumble over their raps, and although many end up giving a good performance, Trinity and Darienne notably struggle the most. For this week's runway, the queens walk in their best crazy sexy cool outfits showing off their favorite body part. Courtney, Laganja and De La are all called safe, although Ru warns Courtney that she is resting on being pretty and needs to step it up. During the judges' critiques, Jocelyn is praised for her improvement and giving an impressive rap, but her look is criticized for being too busy. Adore's performance is also praised, but Michelle comments again on the length of her skirt. Bianca is complimented on both her pretty look and rap performance. On the other hand, Trinity is criticized for letting the challenge get the best of her, while Darienne's simple runway look also attracted negative reviews. Though Milk is complimented on her unique style and energy, both her runway look and look for the challenge are criticized for being unpolished and inaccurate. Adore is named the winner of the challenge, while Trinity is left to lip-sync against Milk. Although Milk brings some unique features to her performance, Ru saves Trinity again and asks Milk to sashay away. Guest judges, Eve and Trina, mini-challenge, reading the other queens, mini-challenge winner, Darienne Lake, main challenge, rap battle in teams to Oh No She Better Don't, challenge winner, Adore Delano, runway theme, crazy, sexy, cool, main challenge prize, collection of custom-made jewelry, bottom 2, Milk and Trinity K. Bonnet, lip-sync song, What a Man by Salt-N-Pepa with En Vogue, eliminated, Milk. Farewell message, it's milkin' time. An unregistered trademark You Girls. Big Plus Scary Forever, Episode 7, Glamazon by Evolution, air date, April 7, 2014. For this week's mini-challenge, the girls were tasked with bedazzling their hands and modeling fruits and vegetables, with Laganja being named the winner. Ru then placed the girls into groups for this week's main challenge, to come up with commercials for Ru's new cosmetic line, Glamazon, which targeted specific demographics. During the main challenge, all of the groups suffered some problems. Adore and Laganja performed well but had trouble keeping in sync. Bianca struggled trying to bring the confidence out of Trinity, but in the end both queens performed well. Darienne and De La struggled with the tension between them as well as with their unusual concept based around plastic surgery. Courtney and Jocelyn also had problems with their cues. For their main stage presentation, the queens were asked to dress in their best black and white outfits. During the judges' critiques, Adore and Laganja were praised for their funny commercial, but Laganja's outfit was criticized. Trinity and Bianca's commercial also was well received and their synergy as team members was also praised. On the other hand, De La and Darienne's concept was seen as confusing and distracting from the product, whereas Courtney and Jocelyn were criticized for not identifying the product quickly enough. Jocelyn's look was also criticized for being too similar to her outfit last week, which was not well received, and De La was accused of hiding behind a showgirl character. Adore and Luganja won the challenge and Darien and Dela were asked to lip-sync. After a strong performance, Ru initially saves Darien, before shocking everyone and also saving Dela, declaring that she wanted to give Dela the opportunity to show more. Guest judges, Leah Remini and Lainey Kazan, Mini Challenge, designing nails and hand modeling fruits and vegetables, Mini Challenge winner, Luganja Estranja, Main Challenge, record an infomercial for RuPaul's Glamazon Cosmetics, runway theme, black and white drama, challenge winners, Adore Delano and Luganja Estranja, Main Challenge prize, skincare products from Lather, bottom 2, Ben de la Creme and Darien Lake, lip sync song, Point of No Return by Exposer copyright, eliminated, no one, farewell message, none, episode 8, Drag Queens of Comedy, air date, April 7, 2014. The mini challenge this week involved the queens decorating their chins to perform a lip sync. Number upside down. Jocelyn wins the challenge and is given the task of deciding the order that the queens will perform in this week's main challenge. To write and perform a stand-up comedy routine in front of a live audience of mostly senior citizens. Darien Lake goes first and impresses the judges with her funny routine. She is followed by Courtney Act, whose routine is described as average but she is complimented for playing to her strengths and including a song. Adore Delano goes next and is critiqued for her routine having too much swearing in it as well as being accused of letting her personality carry her through another challenge, which causes her to break down and express her desire to be in the competition and show the judges what she is made of. The next queen to perform is Ben de la Creme, whose jokes are described as intelligent but is criticized for her speedy delivery, her showgirl runway look and reliance on a character. Luganja Estranja receives very negative critiques, with her routine being described as dull and hidden behind an emotionless four-section aid. Ru also takes her to task for not believing in her own star power and letting helpful critique get the best of her when she becomes defensive. Ru gets emotional when praising Trinity for finally standing up to her insecurities and delivering a strong, funny performance without letting self-doubt get the best of her. Jocelyn performs next and is criticized for her routine starting strong but dramatically fading as well as for putting herself before Bianca, a comedian. Bianca is last on stage and receives glowing critiques, with all the judges agreeing that she excelled all aspects of the challenge. This leads Bianca being named the winner whilst Jocelyn and Luganja are asked to lip-sync. After a high-energy performance, Ru saves Jocelyn whilst reminding Luganja to own her stardom before asking her to sashay away. Guest judges, Bruce Vilanch and Jaime Presley, Mini Challenge, lip-syncing to a RuPaul's song Upside Down, Mini Challenge winner, Jocelyn Fox, Main Challenge, performing a stand-up comedy act in front of a live audience, Challenge winner, Bianca Del Rio, Main Challenge prize, a one-of-a-kind gown designed by Marco, bottom 2, Jocelyn Fox and Luganja Estranja, lip-sync song, Stupid Girls by Pink, eliminated, Luganja Estranja, farewell message, Xoxo, Ganja, episode 9, Drag Queens of Talk, air date, April 14, 2014. This week's challenge involved the queens channeling their inner talk show host by guest hosting the RuPaul's show and interviewing Charles Bono and Georgia Holt. During the main challenge, Adore's nerves got the better of her and she stumbled over her questions several times. Bianca gave a good interview but focused solely on Charles and ran out of time before she could ask Georgia any questions. Trinity interviewed next and also struggled, forgetting Charles Bono's name and asking irrelevant questions. On the other hand, after asking Ru for advice earlier in the workroom, Courtney focused on being friendly and approachable, which led her to give a charming and well-done interview. Darien also struggled with nerves but her fun personality carried her through. Like Courtney, Dilla performed well in the interview, notably by combining both parts of her character and her own personality and doing her research. Jocelyn was the last to interview and started strong before making Georgia uncomfortable by asking a very personal question. For their main stage presentation, the queens were asked to channel their inner animal. During the judges' critiques, both Adore's outfit and her interview were criticized. Trinity also was called out for being nervous and calling Charles the wrong name, when she was calling him Chad, but her outfit received acclaim. Jocelyn became emotional when being confronted about her inappropriate questions, and her heartfelt apology was appreciated by Georgia, who praised her performance before then. However, the judges criticized her outfit choice again. Both Darienne and Bianca received mixed feedback, with Bianca noting her problems with timekeeping and Darienne being surprised when called out for her nerves during the challenge. On the other hand, whilst Dela was praised for stepping away from her character, becoming more endearing and doing her research, Ru declared Courtney the winner of the challenge for her strong performance. Adore and Trinity were named as the bottom two and performed a high-energy lip-sync to Biology by Paula Abdul. Although both queens performed well, Ru saved Adore whilst asking Trinity to sashay away, but not before praising her for her progress during the competition. Guest judges, Charles Bono, Georgia Holt and Paula Abdul. Mini Challenge, Hangman Challenge, Mini Challenge winner, Ben de la Creme. Main Challenge, guest hosting the RuPaul's show and interviewing celebrity guests. Runway theme, Animal Kingdom Couture. Challenge winner, Courtney Act. Main Challenge prize, wig wardrobe from Outfitters Wig and a 1-year haircare supply from Aquage. Bottom 2, Adore Delano and Trinity K. Bonnet. Lip sync song, Biology by Paula Abdul. Eliminated, Trinity K. Bonnet. Farewell message, Be cool, be nice, be you shock so TKB. Episode 10, Drag My Wedding. Air date, April 21, 2014. For this week's mini challenge, the queens were challenged to use their bodies to create abstract paintings representing marriage equality. Bianca wins and is given the task of assigning each queen a bride-to-be for this week's makeover challenge. However, in a twist, it is revealed that the queens will be making over the grooms into blushing brides, not the brides themselves. In the workroom, Adore panics about not being able to sew and Jocelyn struggles with her bride's aversion to doing drag because of his profession. Darienne also encounters problems when her couple decide they want a gothic-themed wedding and she cannot find any appropriate material. On the main stage, the queens walk the runway dressed as their brides' mothers. During the critiques, Jocelyn is criticized for the proportions of her bride's dress as well as his metallic-looking makeup. Both Adore's personal look and her bride are also heavily criticized. Courtney is accused of upstaging her bride with her personal look, while Darienne's goth-themed bride did not land with all the judges, who also criticize her personal look. On the other hand, both Bianca and Dela receive positive critiques for their makeovers. In the end, Ru names Bianca the winner of the challenge and asks Jocelyn and Adore to lip-sync. Adore gives an impassioned performance and she is saved again while Jocelyn sashays away. Guest judges, Neil Patrick Harris and David Burtka. Mini Challenge, do abstract paintings using their bodies in honor of marriage equality. Mini Challenge winner, Bianca Del Rio. Main Challenge, transform grooms into brides for a wedding. Challenge winner, Bianca Del Rio. Main Challenge prize, trip for 2 to Hawaii. Bottom 2, Jocelyn Fox and Adore Delano. Lip sync song, Think by Aretha Franklin. Eliminated, Jocelyn Fox. Farewell message, Forever Sisters, Keep It Foxy. Love Your Guts. Jocelyn an unregistered trademark. Episode 11, Glitter Ball. Air date, April 28, 2014. For this week's mini challenge, the queens make puppets of each other and parody their behavior. Dela is named the winner and gets to assign each queen a jewelry color for this week's main challenge, a pageant of jewelry-inspired couture where the queens must pull out 3 looks: Banjay Girl Bling, Platinum Card Executive Realness, Dripping and Jewels Eleganza, themed around their jewelry color. During the workroom visit, Ru questions Darienne on how she's going to step it up and voices his concerns to Dela about the fact that she hasn't won a challenge since the Snatch game. Adore becomes emotional when questioned by Ru, voicing her frustrations with her lack of sewing ability along with her determination to surprise the judges and make the top 3. RuPaul then adds a twist to the challenge. The queens must also perform a lip-sync opening number with Dela as the choreographer. On the main stage, the queens walk the runway in their 3 outfits. During the judges' critiques, Adore is the only queen to receive universally positive reviews, with the judges praising her performances during her runway presentations. Delar's executive look is criticized for not fitting the challenge specification, whilst her eleganza look is accused of being too similar to her past looks. Bianca is also criticized for her eleganza look being too similar to previous looks, as well as for not surprising the judges, although Bob Mackie praises her polish. Courtney Act is, once again, accused of resting on pretty and needing more shape to her body, and Darien is criticized for her looks not fitting the brief and the fit of her eleganza gown. After the critiques, Ru asks each queens who should be eliminated. All the queens name Darien, including herself, whilst getting emotional and accepting that she missed the mark on this week's challenge. Courtney names both Adore for falling down in recent challenges as well as Darien. After the judges' deliberation, Ru names Adore the winner and asks Delar and Darien to lip-sync. Darien's emotional connection to the song causes Ru to save her for the third time, and Delar sachets away. Guest judges, Bob Mackie and Khloe Kardashian, mini-challenge, make a caricature of their own peers with a puppet. Mini-challenge winner, Ben de la Creme, main challenge, design 3 outfits for the glitter ball, Banjay Girl Bling, Platinum Card Executive Realness, and Dripping in Jewels Eleganza. Challenge winner, Adore Delano, main challenge prize, a costume from Kika Custom Design. Bottom 2, Ben de la Creme and Darien Lake, lip-sync song, Stronger by Kelly Clarkson. Eliminated, Ben de la Creme, farewell message, dear top 4 HOWZ it going? I'm doing pretty good. Sometimes you have to have Mama Ru yell at you a bunch of times before it sinks in. I guess I never reached that number of times, Darien. I knew the second I was up against you I was out the door. You get it, lady. I wish you all the luck in the world and only harbor enough resentment to write a long pointless message that you will have to clean and clean and clean and clean. But for real, the UGIRLZ are my heroes. 20 BDLC, Episode 12, Sissy That Walk. Air date, May 5, 2014. For this week's main challenge, Michelle Visage comes in the workroom announcing to the remaining contestants that the final challenge will be in 2 parts. First, they will star in RuPaul's music video Sissy That Walk, and then act in 2 acting scenes. Choreographer Jamal Sims makes a guest appearance for this week's episode, teaching the contestants the choreography for the music video. As in each Drag Race series finale, RuPaul also sat down with each queens for a key about the competition. Martha Anderson also makes a guest appearance for this week's episode, directing the contestants in the acting scenes. On the runway presentation and during the critiques, each queens receive mostly good feedbacks for their presentation on the runway and during the music video as well as in the acting scenes. As a result, for the first time in Drag Race history, RuPaul asks the remaining 4 contestants to lip-sync on Sissy That Walk at the same time. At the end of the lip-sync, RuPaul asks Darien Lake to sashay away. The final 3 is announced, consisting of Adore Delano, Bianca Del Rio and Courtney Act. Similar to what happened for the previous 2 seasons, RuPaul asks the public to decide who America's next drag superstar should be, and that the winner will be announced during the reunion episode. Bianca Del Rio marks the first contestant in Drag Race history to reach the finale without being one of the worst or being in the bottom 2 throughout the competition. Special guests, Martha Anderson and Jamal Sims, main challenge, starring in RuPaul's music video Sissy That Walk as well as in 2 acting scenes, lip-sync song, Sissy That Walk by RuPaul. Eliminated, Darien Lake, Episode 13, Countdown to the Crown. Air date, May 12, 2014. This week's episode takes a look back on the highlights, lowlights, and previously unseen footage from the season using various countdowns. In addition, past contestants Alaska, JINKX Monsoon, Juyube, Latrice Royale, Manila Luzon, Raja, Raven, Shangela Laquia Wadley, Sharon Needles, and Tammy Brown also appeared, giving their opinions on the season and the contestants. Episode 14, the finale, air date, May 19, 2014, wigs fly as the queens discuss the drama of the season. Plus, both America's Next Drag Superstar and Miss Congeniality are crowned. Miss Congeniality, Ben de la Creme, runners-up, Adore Delano and Courtney Act, Winner of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 6, Bianca Del Rio. Controversy, after use of the term she-male in the female or she-male challenge of Episode 4 led to complaints over transphobic slang. Logo temporarily removed the episode from all platforms and will no longer use "You've Got She-Male" as the mini-challenge intro. Episode 4 was eventually put back up on streaming services without the female or she-male mini-challenge segment. Soundtrack. In this season the theme song for the series remains unchanged from the original season, only being condensed to a shorter length to allow for more showtime. As in previous seasons, while RuPaul enters walking the runway before the judging each episode his song Cover Girl plays. An instrumental version of the song continues to play while he introduces the judges and celebrity guests. The main musical change-up of the season comes during the runway while each contestant struts, modeling their looks. As in each previous season the song changes to promote more album and/or single sales for RuPaul. The song this season played during the segment is Sissy That Walk, from RuPaul's album Born Naked. Also from the album Dance With You plays at the end of each episode while the remaining queens dance on the runway, exiting the stage. Born Naked essentially serves as a soundtrack for the season. Its release coincided with the season premiere, primarily for promotional reasons. However, in the time just after Logo's release of the Season 6 Meet the Queens interviews, which announced and introduced the season's cast, an album entitled The Covered GURLZ was released digitally presented by RuPaul, meant to promote the upcoming season. The single Oh No She Better Don't was also released during the season. Oh No She Better Don't. Following the airing of Episode 6, RuPaul and DJ Shy Boy released the single Oh No She Better Don't, along with its music video made during the episode's main challenge, online. The song and video feature RuPaul and all of the queens still standing as of Episode 6. Background. In Episode 6, the cast was broken up to form two rap groups. Darienne Lake won the mini-challenge, so she was given the ability to choose 4 contestants to form her group. For her own group she chose Laganja Estranja, Bianca Del Rio, and Adore Delano and Courtney Act as they appeared on American Idol and Australian Idol respectively. Leaving Ben de la Creme, Jocelyn Fox, Milk, and Trinity K. Bonnet to form the opposing group. Darienne, Laganja, Bianca, Adore, and Courtney formed the group the Pantyhose. Ben de la Creme, Jocelyn, Milk, and Trinity named their group Wu-Tang Clan, a play on words referencing the Wu-Tang Clan. For the challenge, Ben de la Creme took on the stage name Creminem after rapper Eminem. The queens were directed by guest judges Eve and Trina. It was announced in the episode that DJ Shy Boy would produce the song. The queens were responsible for writing their own lyrics. Though the queens filmed their music video for the episode, their vocals were recorded in an unknown studio off-camera. It is unknown who wrote RuPaul's part in the song. Music video. The music video was filmed and produced during the episode. It was at least partially directed by female rappers Eve and Trina as they advised the queens during the filming. However, the video was primarily directed and produced by World of Wonder, the same company that produces RuPaul's Drag Race. The video was released to YouTube on World of Wonder's account on April 2, 2014, 2 days after the single's release, but was aired on Logo during the episode before the episode's judging portion. Release and track listing. On March 31, 2014, the song became available on iTunes. iTunes single, Oh No She Better Don't Euro 242, RuPaul Presents, The Covered GURLZ, RuPaul Presents, The Covered GURLZ is a 2014 compilation album by entertainer RuPaul, featuring the Season 6 cast of his show RuPaul's Drag Race. The album was released on January 28, 2014. The album was only released digitally to iTunes and Amazon. Background. This album marks the first time in RuPaul's Drag Race history that an album has been produced with all the contestants of the season featured in it. Though winners and top 3 contestants have been given the chance to collaborate with RuPaul either on a song, or by performing in one of the artist's music videos, respectively. The compilation consists of 14 covers of songs previously released by RuPaul, performed by all of the RuPaul's Drag Race Season 6 contestants. It features tracks originally from RuPaul's albums Champion and Glamazon, as well as his extended play Super Glam DQ, and the 2013 non-album single Lick It Lollipop. The album also features an outtake from Champion entitled Let's Turn the Night, reproduced with new vocals by Jason Carter and Miles Davis Moody of the RuPaul's Drag Race pit crew. April Carrier-Cuben's cover of Sexy Drag Queen also features Gypster from the original version of the song. As promotion for both the season's contestants and the, then, upcoming season, each contestant is also featured in a short music video for their cover ending with a montage of clips from their respective audition tapes. World of Wonder also produced a music video for the pit crew's song Let's Turn the Night, which also promoted RuPaul's, then, recently released fragrance Glamazon, released as part of a limited edition makeup line with Colovolution Cosmetics. Release history: before the compilation's release, RuPaul confirmed on Twitter that a new album, in which each of the Season 6 contestants covered a song from his catalog, would be coming out. Reception: the week of release the compilation album debuted at number 6 on the iTunes Dance Album Chart. Track listing: all writing credits adapted from the liner notes of the albums the songs originally appeared. Notes. References. External links: official website, official Facebook page.